it looks like the same National Archives that wanted to crucify Donald Trump over his declassified documents at Mar-a-Lago are withholding evidence as part of a cover-up for Joe Biden. Now, tell me there isn't a two-tiered system of justice here. Now we have a congressman who has oversight over National Archives, who is openly talking about this. Let's get into it. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, where we are the antidote to the daily onslaught of radical woke Marxist propaganda. Now, isn't it something how everyone in Washington, D.C. is two-faced when it comes to Donald Trump? They say that Trump committed an insurrection when he had nothing to do with it, but yet they didn't want to acknowledge that their voters destroyed our country city by city for an entire summer every night, right? Joe Biden threatens a Ukraine President Poroshenko of withholding $1 billion if he doesn't fire a prosecutor who's looking into his son Hunter, but they go after Donald Trump for rightfully asking President Zelensky about the crimes committed in his country by the Biden crime family. It seems that if you want to know what the Democrats are doing, just look at what they accuse Trump of doing, because then you know. They project everything. And the Democrats were out in force. They're out now saying that what Trump did at Mar-a-Lago is far worse than what Joe Biden did. That's because these people are brain dead. You know, President Trump had the authority to keep presidential records and to declassify anything he wanted at will when he was president. Joe Biden did not have that authority. He was a vice president. The complete and utter fool, Jamie Raskin, Democrat congressman from Maryland, was asked over the weekend on a news program about Biden's classified documents. And he couldn't defend what Biden did. So what he did instead was he compared what Joe Biden did to January 6th because he had nothing else to say.
Now we learned that President Biden had roughly 20 classified documents, including some marked top secret in 3 different locations. By Biden's own standard, wasn't Biden totally irresponsible with classified information? And aren't we right to wonder, to use Biden's words, quote, what data was in there that may compromise sources and methods?
Well, and I think we'll get to the bottom of all of that. I mean, that's why special counsel has been appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland. He did the right thing there to look into it. You know, I'm hoping that we will keep a sense of symmetry about our analysis of these situations and a sense of proportion about the underlying offenses. There's some people who are trying to compare having a government document that should no longer be in your possession to inciting a violent insurrection against the government of the United States.
This is the level that we're at with these people. Okay, so Representative James Comer, Republican, says that National Archives is hiding documents that Biden stole while he was vice president. Now, a lot of people are trying to say that President Trump's possession of documents is worse. It's a bold-faced lie. And it's kind of funny, isn't it, that Barack Obama could have done old Joe a solid and stepped up and lied and said that, well, he declassified everything for Joe. But he doesn't come forward and say that, does he? That's probably because Obama knows that if he got caught lying like that, and it's very easy to get caught because there's documents that are supposed to be around. They're part of the National Archives. And if he doesn't want to sully his own name, he's not going to get involved, and he's not. So there's no one to help Joe except, you know, the misinformation fake news media. Now think about this. Joe Biden didn't have to share any of the classified documents with the Communist Chinese Party at all. All right? People are saying, oh, he probably shared a lot of the stuff. He doesn't have to. He'll use his son Hunter. His son Hunter had the keys to the house. He was renting the house from his father at $50,000 a month. And that includes the garage area where everybody seems to keep their classified documents, right? So Hunter Biden does a lot of business with the Communist Chinese. And he has access to a house where there are classified documents about China, Iran, and a couple other places, Ukraine. And you can do the math because they don't want you to. Now, Joe very well may have given access to the Communist Chinese of all those classified documents that's floating all over the place. But I believe Joe Biden is compromised, and that's why he keeps putting China's interest ahead of ours. Now, think about it. He used his son Hunter to make millions and millions of dollars with China and other countries, but mostly China. Okay, so what's to stop him from passing classified documents off to Chinese operatives that come over to the house, right? One document was about Ukraine, and if China read that document, they could pass that information over to Russia. Likewise, the file on Iran would pass on to Iran as China and Iran work together. So a lot of things could have happened by these documents being in places where Hunter had access to them, right? I wonder if any of that is on the Hunter Biden laptop that Twitter didn't want anybody to know about. Okay, so Congressman Comer, who has oversight over NARA, he was on with Neil Cavuto on Fox talking about this. Let's give it a listen.
Let's get the read on what he might want to investigate. The aforementioned James Comer, the House Oversight Committee Chairman. Mr. Chairman, always good to have you. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
What do we know, what do you know about these documents, or just exactly how classified some of them are? We're told that a bunch that were found in the president's garage in Wilmington had top classification markings, but you know more than I, maybe. What have you learned?
Well, unfortunately, I do not know more than you, and that's very concerning because I have jurisdiction over the National Archives. This agency is supposed to do a briefing anytime something like this happens. They have not. Not only have they not given us a briefing, even though we've requested one, they haven't answered any of our simple requests for information.
And yet they wanted to crucify Trump.
This is very concerning. We are going to deal with the National Archives as this mess progresses. But right now, we have a lot of concerns. Who had access to these documents? It's hard for us to believe, as Joe Biden said, that his team of lawyers were moving boxes around and they discovered it. I mean, no one believes that.
Yeah, the lawyers are going to hire U-Haul, right? They're going to go out and rent a U-Haul and get their T-shirts on.
Lawyers are in charge of the moving team. And I wonder, did all the documents end up at the same place initially, like, let's say, the Biden Center, and then someone at the Biden Center took some boxes to the house and we're looking through the information
Perfectly
at the
legit
house.
questions.
There are a lot of questions here. Unfortunately, we don't have any answers.
And see, the thing is, too, that the Secret Service said that there were no visitor logs. No visitor logs for that house. Okay, so Hunter Biden's staying there, paying the old man, the big guy, $50,000 a month to stay there. There's classified documents there. Okay, no visitor logs. So anybody could have been there. Any bad agent, any bad I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying it's a possibility. These creeps are the Biden crime family, after all. All right, so that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for spending time with us. We'll see you in the next one.